I wanted to experiment on building an RC airplane that's able to fly really slow. In this video, I'm going to be building a model around the Selig S1210 airfoil, which is generally known to be able to generate a lot of lift at lower speed. I already have the wing prepared by using my 4-axis CNC hot wire cutter to make the wings. I'll leave a link in the video description, so make sure to check it out. With that being said, let's get started. It's going to be a T2 configuration, so I prepared the horizontal and the vertical stabilizer. I'll be putting them aside for now to work on the wings. First, I need to glue the wing tip to the main wing to create one part for each of the wings. After doing that, it was ready to be reinforced with some 80mm carbon fiber rods. So I have my friend here prepare some epoxy and glue this part to the wings. Later on, I will be closing this hot wire entry line with some masking tape. This part here are the wing mounts to make the wing detachable, which you will see later in the video. So I have them designed and 3D printed with some PETG filaments and also the center plates to hold some of the electronics. The fuselage profiles are ready at this time, so let's put it together. Alright, so the fuselage profiles have been put together. All that is left is to just basically sand all the edges and make it a lot smoother and a lot nicer. Let's get started. Alright, I just finished sanding the corners of the fuselage and it's a lot smoother and a lot more aerodynamic. So I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. At this point, the airplane was starting to come to life and I can see the future. A very bright future with 2 degrees angle of incidence. Please take a moment to subscribe if you haven't and let's continue. Now back to the tail section. I have the control surfaces cut out and I used some masking tape as inch which works really well. I also did the same thing for the wing ailerons. The wing mounts I painted earlier was breaking so easily, so I ended up painting them with ABS filaments which was much stronger. By this time I have glued the horizontal and the vertical stabilizer together and it's starting to form a T-shaped tail. I made sure to increase the thickness of the vertical stabilizer to help support the load from the horizontal stabilizer. The airframe is in one piece now without any electronics installed. The entire weight is about 630 grams, which is not so bad for its size. These wing lock mechanisms are so easy to install and take out. It doesn't require any screws at all. The motor and the propeller has been installed. It's using an 880 kV motor spinning 11 by 6 inches propeller. I found out later that this particular motor wasn't the best for this airplane. You'll see why later in the video. After testing the motor, I installed the servos and the push rod to control the rudder and elevator control surfaces on the tail section. I'll be using the Mitec H743 flight controller to get the data from the flights like the ground speed and the battery consumption. At this point, the aircraft weighs about 1,255 grams excluding the battery weight. It's finally time to get ready for some paint scheme, and before that I had already protected the foam with some layers of wood glue. I have another video covering how you can paint foam with a regular spray paint. Make sure to check it out. I absolutely love the paint scheme on the airplane, and at this time everything is ready and the airplane is ready to fly.
Alright guys, we're finally on the field to come and fly this model. But as you can see, if you look around, the terrain is bad. Just show them the terrain, show them the terrain. It's very bad and it's definitely going to be difficult to land. But I'm going to do my very best to try and keep the aircraft level and try to land it in this small pile of grass here. Fingers crossed. Flying with a folding prop so that it folds when it lands because the terrain is bad, like I said. So yeah, good to go. Let's get it done.
I was going to let one of my friends launch this model as he has previous experience in launching bigger models. We went through a quick briefing on how he's going to launch the airplane until this happened.
Yeah, go, go. Okay, you launch. Abbas!
Well, that was unexpected. Apparently, he didn't put enough force in that launch and I thought the airplane was a gunner, which means I would have to pack it up, go home to fix it. But to my surprise, the airplane was completely fine and the only thing we had was the motor has gotten a lot of dust and metal particle stuck in it. So we spent some time cleaning up the motor on the field. This time the wind had already started picking up, but nothing to worry about as I'm quite confident in my flying skills. After we fixed the motor, I decided to launch the aircraft myself this time around. In this first flight, I used a 3-cell battery to have a feel of how the aircraft behaves. But however, I was using almost full throttle to be able to maintain a steady flight, which is not so good. So I made a call to land immediately. I replaced the 3-cell battery to a 4-cell battery for the next flight.
That is very slow.
The airplane is able to fly as slow as 5 meters per second, especially when it's facing the headwind. And the headwind at that time is about 4 meters per second. At tailwind, the aircraft got up to 12 meters per second ground speed. The motor I currently use is noticed to have some lag while I try to throttle up. It didn't have enough torque and response I needed. Perhaps it's too small for this airplane.
3, 2, 1.
was a close one, so apparently I made a steep turn after the little can of coke dropped, and the wing lost lift rapidly, which resulted into that steep stall. But luckily, I was able to recover quickly and continue the flight.
Very windy now, and managed to fly about 4 flights, I guess. Yeah, I think 4 flights. So time to wrap it up. Huge success.
I had about 3 flights with this current battery, the 4-cell 10,000 milliamps battery, and the total capacity consumed was about 1,600 milliamps. And this entire flight was about 20 minutes, which means I could still fly more. The aircraft was able to fly so slow that it barely consumed any power. Next time on this project, I'm going to be upgrading the motor and the propeller to a bigger one so that I can be able to carry a full can of coke rather than an empty one. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.